basic, but that looks like an ACC team out there.
The spirit was really good. The competitive nature was good. It's two teams really going after each other. You know, some of those guys are young on that second team, but they're talented and spirited, so they actually won it today. So yeah, there's a lot of competition right now for position. We've got to figure out who our 9-man rotation will be or 10-man rotation, but I do think we have some depth.
Who's been most impressive so far this offseason? Like, who do you think will take the biggest leap?
I mean, I think Jaden Zachary has been really a steady hand day to day. He's shot the ball really well. He's always been a good shooter. He's been more aggressive, getting to the paint, making decisions underneath the free throw line. So I think he's been good. You know, I think Prince and Arife has improved. You know, Quentin Post had a great summer, European tour, but Prince and Arife led us in scoring on the tour. You know, Claudell Harris has been a welcome addition. You know, somebody who can score, very athletic. And I think Chaz Kelly's made a big jump, as well as Amani. So there's a lot of guys who got better. Usually your sophomore, your freshman or sophomore year, there's some improvement. And a lot of our freshmen played last year, and so you know, it'd be nice to see them take that step into the sophomore season.
How was the tour overall? Like,
the tour was great. The tour was great. We won all of the games. Competition was good, but not great. So we won all of those games over there. But the encouraging thing, you know, we had a couple of games where one game we had 26 assists and 14 made threes, you know, and that's without Donald Hand and Mason Matson playing. So that was encouraging. But just the ability to bond, spend that time in a foreign country was good. So it was great. Other than me being on a scooter for 14 days, pushing around, you know, but everything was good.
Coach, now that you've been here a while, when you started camp, did you feel like guys were ready to go right away and kind of knew what to expect from you?
It was pretty refreshing because we got 9 returners, which is rare in this era of transfer and NIL. You know, we had 9 returners, and somebody told me at the ACC meetings, there's only 2 teams that have that many returners. The most returners is Boston College and Marquette. We return just about all their guys. So it's been pretty refreshing that there's times in practice before I can actually teach a play or teach a scheme that the older team might do it before I teach it. You know, they teach the other guys on their own. So there's a great understanding of what we're trying to do because of the continuity and all the returns.
What's always been gritty is the next step to make it more gritty?
You know, I mean, we always been gritty, and I think we still got to do that. I think Boston College in general is a gritty place. It's a tough man's place. It's a worker's place. It's for fighters, so we can't lose. We can't forget that. You know, this is a fighter's place, and you got to have a fighter's mentality. In this league we play in, that's what is required for us to have a chance to be successful. But I do think this is one of our better shooting teams, better offensive teams. So I hope we can stay gritty and then, you know, be able to have a little firepower on offense.
Speaking of depth, how important would it be to get some of the younger kids to give you more when Quentin might be down or not?
Yeah, Amani Madi, you know, he's 6'10", 250, really aggressive. Different from QB, you know, he don't shoot it, he don't do some of those skill things, but he does his job at a high level, defending, rebounding, running the floor, blocking shots, tip dunking. Jaden Hastings is another freshman. And then Elijah Strong is another one. You know, but Devin McLaughlin is a redshirt sophomore, so he's shown that he can play. So we got some different options there. I think the young freshmen, though, I'm going to have to give some of those guys a chance. Fred Payne and Elijah Strong, both have been really, really good. And then Donald Hand's a redshirt freshman who shot the ball well. And then, you know, he's a 6'6", 2 guard. So I'm going to have to trust those freshmen in spurts. But the strength will be in our older guys and our returners.
What adjustments have you made going into year 3 here? What are some like the coaching adjustments that you personally made to help this year?
Well, I mean, what I've done is I made an adjustment by default. With the Achilles injury, what I've done is spend more time with my staff talking about the things that we necessarily need to get done in practice. And I'm actually taking a bird's eye view a little bit more. And what I'm starting to discover, you can see more when nobody's behind you. You can see more from the sideline when you got a bird's eye view. I think that's a cliche phrase, but I think it's a real, now that I've had the situation, I see more, you know, and I can let guys play through more and then make the corrections on the fly instead of stopping it every time. But that's a major adjustment I've seen just in terms of, you know, letting Jim Molinari coach more. He's been head coach for 20 years. You know, letting Anthony Goins do more on the offensive side. You know, he's been at Clemson and Yale and Quinnipiac and different places. So being at Corey McRae, letting him do some more special teams. So, you know, delegating more to my staff because I can't actually get out and demonstrate it. You know, I like to run around and sweat, but I can't do it right now. So this is making me have like an older guy approach, I guess. When you get a little older, you can't run around as much. So I'm getting that experience before I'm 50.
Coach, what were some of the holes just when you went into the offseason and you identified certain things that you needed to address? How did you address them, and how are you seeing it come to fruition here?
The biggest thing I thought we needed to address was spirit and toughness. We lost Mekhi Langford. I thought he was an everyday warrior. So I thought Fred Payne and you know, a guy like Elijah Strong, even though they're young, they show spirit. So if you just watch their team today, they won, but if you saw the spirit that they played with and the energy they had, they everyday spirited guys. So I thought we needed that. And then I thought also, you know, with his scoring, I thought he scored the ball for us pretty good. So I think MJ Harris, you know, gives us another score, you know, at 6'3", 6'4", who can really shoot the three and can really play underneath the free throw line. You know, long, he's athletic. So I thought we needed some more scoring. But I think MJ and Donald Hand gives us more scoring. Fred and Elijah gives us more spirit. And then you hope that Prince Alibe and Jaden Hastings and Amani Madi give us more length and athleticism, even in the older now. So I think we've addressed a lot. The big address we made was retaining our players in the spring and the summer. Quentin Post, Jaden Zachary, Devin McLaughlin, Prince. We got 4 starters.
More about Donald, just how did he handle the tough offseason and during the season as well with the injury, and how has he matured from year 1 to year 2?
He's matured, but I told him the last time I had a guy that had that injury, he's actually making $1 million in China now, Grant Willard. But the first game he played versus Villanova, he did have 11 turnovers. So you're going to have to understand you missed a year. You're going to have to be patient. You know, you're going to be better in December than you are in November. You're going to be better in January than you are in December. So you have to be patient and find some peace in knowing this process might take a little while because he missed a full year.
Has there been an emphasis on avoiding those early season non-conference losses? I know you guys struggled a little bit last year. UNH, Maine.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's really been an emphasis so much on just the non-conference record. Because I think some of that is, you know, we can't control everything. You know, we had a lot of guys out in those games. That was like the first time I ever experienced where you could have 4 really good impact players out of one game. So, with the good Lord's help, you know, we won't, you know, deal with that. But we're going to take those games one game at a time. Try not to take anybody for granted. All those teams are going to be capable. And so, you know, we're going to try to just focus on that one game at a time approach. Don't look too far ahead. You know, and then, like I said, with the good Lord's help, we stay healthy.
You mentioned the injuries. Is there anything you guys are doing to take those steps to hopefully not get everyone injured?
No, not. We flying around, we compete. You know, because there's no substitute for hard work. I mean, it's a catch-22. You can say, hey, look, let's try to prevent injuries and don't get after it. And then now you don't have the edge when you get in the fight. Or you can say, let's just get after it and try to have a smart competitive spirit about us, you know, have a healthy competitive spirit, you know, making sure you understand your stroke teammates. But it's really no substitute for hard work. You got to get after it. You got to build some endurance. You got to build some inner strength. You got to practices should be harder than the game. So when you get to the game, you're like, you know, these guys ain't coming after me like my teammates. So I don't think there's no other way to get ready other than just get after it.
Quentin coming back after testing the water as well. How does it? What's the impact of getting that feedback from testing the water, the draft process, and coming back here and you know, trying to take your game to the next level?
Well, the best thing about it is there's some teams that have worked them out, like 3 or 4 teams worked them out, so they have the information about them. So now next year they can track them throughout the year, and they already have the information. So he'll be a little step ahead of the process because he did test the water. And then I think for him, just realizing how hard it is and how many good players are at the workouts when we show up. You know, you got Drew Timme and some of these guys fighting to make the league. So hopefully that made him understand, just try to win. try to help your team advance, and try to give your team a chance to play in March, be a great teammate, and enjoy the college experience, because that next step is not guaranteed. So hopefully that shows him that, and he can focus on the things that's necessary.
Coach, you talk about retaining players. How much does this whole facility help all of that, and recruiting?
I mean, I think this helped a lot. You know, this is pretty refreshing. This facility is refreshing. You know, for 2 years we didn't have this. We used what we had, didn't complain about it, but you know, this is like a facelift. Nutrition center and all of that, recovery room, weight room. You guys seen it, but I mean, it helped our program tremendously. I don't think it just helped with recruiting now. I don't know if Prince and Chaz and DJ and all those guys would have been here, because they did visit ACC and Big Ten schools. So the fact that we could sell a vision of the facility and show it virtually probably gave them some hope that, you know what, wow, that's going to be pretty good when we get it. You know, so I think it's helped with Quentin Post, and we were able to sell it to him, Jaden Zachary. You know, I've been selling it from day one because they sold it to me in the interview process. And so I said, you know what, I'm going to sell this every time I get a chance to every recruit.
Beyond that, retaining the 4 starters, because that is an anomaly in college basketball in general. How much does that kind of play into the vision of what you had when you got here, building the program, and how does that speak to these guys in that vision as well?
Yeah, so my experience at different places, particularly like Wichita State, when we were trying to go from 10 wins to the Final Four, everybody kept coming back. And so we kept coming back and we kept adding pieces to it. The same thing I experienced at College of Charleston. You know, in year 3 we had a really good year, 25 wins. In year 4 we had 26. Some of that was because everybody was back and we kept adding talent on top of it. So based on my experience, I thought that year 3, one of the most critical things was having juniors and seniors and sophomores. And I was concerned. And so we took the foreign tour based on the fact that we have a lot of returners coming back. So once we had them coming back and we were going towards that tour, that gave me a lot of confidence that, you know, hey, look, the program is on the right path to get to year 3 and try to continue to move it forward.
Preseason ACC poll had you guys number 12. Did you pay attention to that?
I pay attention to it. I don't love it. You know, I think we got good players. You know, I think they're doing some good things. I don't love it, but you know, I don't get to vote on that for myself. And you know, every year they vote us pretty low, so we'll just keep working at it and focus on the non-conference. Try to be as good as we can be when that time comes to play that second season. And we know it's a fight on every corner. But we do know that. You know, that ain't no lie. It's a fight on every corner. But I'm not going to really dwell on that. I think we got a pretty good group, but that's what they picked us.
It's year 3. Is the NCAA tournament the goal?
The goal is to be playing in March, you know, and have a chance to advance in March. So whatever that means, you know, that's where we at. You know, we want to be playing in March with a chance to advance. You know, so I don't know what that means. You know, but I know I'm doing progress, so I need breaking through to the other side. Thought we made progress last year. We want to try to break through a little bit to the other side.
Coach, you comment on Jaden's basketball IQ, and is kind of your eyes and voice on the court?
Yeah, he's a steady hand. He's gotten better every year, making better decisions with the ball, shooting it better, you know, trying to be more vocal, talking to his teammates more. He was a pretty quiet guy his freshman year. He was like a quiet worker, and now he's more of a vocal worker. And so he can get guys to respond with his voice. And so I think his leadership has been the biggest thing he's improved. His stamina, his experience. So he's a really, really good player. You know, really good point guard. He's a staple to what we're trying to do.
I know you were at Clemson, but coming back into the league, is it still as advertised when you come out every game, or you know, with the parity and everything that's come out the last couple of years? But is the competition level still where it was and what you thought it would be
in the league?
In the ACC?
Yeah, you know, everybody trying to say the league is down from time to time. And I mean, I've been in the league in 2010 and through 14, and I think the league now is just as good as it was then. You know, yeah, maybe there's a couple teams that's down a little bit from year to year, but But I think overall, the league is as good as it's been. You know, and you still have teams get to the NCAA and making deep runs. I think the league is as good as it's ever been.
CJ Penny and TJ Biggerstaff both left. Who do you expect to fill into that backup like center spot?
I mean, I think Devin McLaughlin and Quentin Post both did it last year. I think the next guy is Amani Mighty. I think it's time for him to get some minutes to play. He is a sophomore. He is a guy that's kind of deserved an opportunity based on his labor and his everyday mentality. And he's gained 20 pounds of muscle in the weight room, so he's a specimen. So I think rim protecting, blocking shots, tipping it back in, getting offensive rebounds, you know, helping us get more possessions. I think he can do that for us.
And who do you think is going to replace Makai, like offensively, production?
Committee. You know, Claudio Harris, you know, Donald Hand, you know, Jaden Zachary being more aggressive. You know, Mason Matson, Chaz Kelly, you know, a lot of guys. And I think that's a committee job, you know, in terms of just a lot of guys doing a little bit more to make up for it.
How do you like Mason's new look?
He looked like Bill Walton. I don't know, at some point I have to have him clean it up if he keep getting too long. He's a free spirit, and you know, I don't really get too caught up in guys trying to have their personality and be themselves. If they get out of hand, I'll say something about it, but I think he look okay. He don't look like a hippie, but he look okay.
There's been a lot of students.